Hey everybody, it's Jeremy the coach. Today I'd like to announce that I've passed an add-on certification for my licenses, that I can now specialize in youth fitness and nutrition. If you're the few members of my family know that I've loved my little cousins, I feel are one of my reasons for being, possibly my main one. Love them to death. And I have chosen as part of my continuing ed for my licenses to specialize in youth fitness and nutrition. I remember when I was back in school for the nutrition license, seeing what is going on in this country. Best way I can describe it is, think of a cell phone commercial, Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, whatever it is, and every one of them shows you the map of the country and how much they cover. Well, back in school, we had the same picture of the United States and how much of our country is obese. It is insane. We are literally the fattest country on earth, and this is unacceptable. And it can be reversed. And how many diseases there are related to weight? Diabetes, type 2 diabetes, more risk of injury, cardiovascular disease, everything. It relates to so many things. Our weight, unacceptable. And part of my reasons for the personal trainer, the health coach, the nutrition licenses is because I've struggled with my weight my whole life. And I see that it's there. What I have is not just head knowledge, like I went to school and then I spit the information back out to you. It's hands-on. I have to do this with myself. And hopefully you realize you might have to also. It's experience. It's one person who's been through it, helping another who has to go through it, paying it forward. But if you see the old cell phone commercials and how much of this country they've covered, versus now, our whole country, that there's very few spots on those cell phone commercials that these companies don't cover. And now, I remember the class of how many obese people there were in this country. Not quite few and far between, but it was much less coverage versus now. 20, 30 years ago, how many obese people versus now? The country is covered so much more on those pictures of of obesity rates. And it's unacceptable. And I think of many years ago, 2003, 2004, I worked for an insurance company, a big name company that everybody in this country has heard of. And the way that certainly in New York, where I lived at the time, the case was, and I'm sure it's the same across companies, or very similar across, companies and states. Each state has their laws, there's federal laws, but it's generally the life and health insurance, life insurance can vary by state. It can very much vary by state. And I remember learning for that life insurance, I don't know how, all these years later, what happens with life insurance rates? You are graded on your health. This is my own opinion now. The fact is, with life insurance company, there are grades. You can be, I don't remember all of them now, premium, select, premium, average, and then there was a whole list of below average 1, below average 2, 3, whatever the companies call it, based on your health. Now, when you go for a life insurance application and they say, do you have any heart problems, diabetes, do you smoke, do you go skydiving, do you race cars for NASCAR every other weekend? These companies, and they can do it, I don't see anything wrong with it, to know what your risk is. Are you going to live a long life? Or do you smoke, have cancer, you're 400 pounds, and you skydive every other weekend? You're going to pay a hell of a lot more. It's the same thing like car insurance. The more accidents you have, the more you pay. And it makes sense. And personally, now here's where my opinion comes in, that health insurance companies should do the same thing. Do you smoke? You pay more. Do you go skydiving every other weekend? You pay more. Do you race NASCAR every other weekend? You pay more in your premiums. Not a lawyer, not a health insurance agent. I don't know why it's like that. So I can't comment good or bad. But the reason I'm do what I do is because I have struggled with my weight my whole life, up and down and up and down, and to the point at 20 years old, along with some other issues, my doctor told me I would not live to see 30. Pushing, high 200 pounds, good, not quite 300, but high twos, 260, something like that at my highest. And to pay that forward. That is why I do what I do. And I do understand and my parents did it with me. To have children get into good habits early, go to the gym, teach them what to eat, why to eat certain things, instead of sugary cereals and candy after school, to do something else. I get it, kids don't want to eat their broccoli and all that wonderful stuff, but we need to teach kids early. Let it be sports. Let it be nutrition. Get them involved in, given I didn't play, but 3 different sports teams in high school. Get them involved in sports to teach good habits. This can be reversed. The trend in this country of everyone being heavy, it can be reversed. Yes, there are genetic issues. People have born with, maybe there's type 1 diabetes. However, the time to change, and I know this applies to me too, with any problem I have, the time to change is now. To get into good habits. Loving being great with kids. Part of the reason I chose this add-on license. But to teach good habits, to get them early. To have a safe, positive, fun environment to teach kids good habits. I would teach one-on-one or in groups. I would find in groups it would be, I might work better, and your child might work it better with that safe environment, a positive, not competition environment. And to teach them early, and I had looked at through the organization where I have my licenses, well, one of the two, to help teach them in sports, pediatric exercise physiology, knowing how they're growing and things that hurt, motor development, good habits, good form in what they do, to motivation, have a fun, positive environment between me and the peers. Should it be in a group class? Say there's 5 kids in a group. To have positive, to have kids be comfortable exercising, to teach them early. And to pay forward the way I was helped. That is why I do what I do. Make it fun, make them want to exercise. I remember very well when I turned 18, not being disciplined at all through no fault of my parents. It was things going on in my life. But if we teach them early, this can be reversed. Our health insurance rates are through the roof. Because of what's going on in this country, everybody's heavy, everybody smokes, everybody drinks, and it is time to reverse that. That is my goal. If you need anything, you can reach out on my page. Find me on LinkedIn. And I hope to see you soon. What I'm going to do is I will give out a few free sessions to anybody who responds. If you live in, preferably near me, or maybe doing some Zoom. I live in Florida. Or doing some Zoom. If you're interested, I'd be willing to do that for children at a reduced rate to help them get those good habits. On that note, I hope you have a good day and see you soon.